Hello, everyone. I want to say thank you so much to the people that made this happen, especially with the times that we're living in right now. Everything is done virtually, so thank you so much. I'm sure you're wondering, like, what is happening? What's going on behind him? I'm in the middle of a film right now. I'm on set, so juggling that as well as hosting this talk. So, probably not the best place to have this conversation, or maybe it actually is. So I'm Jeremy Lee Stone, and my name sign is JLS. I'm from New York City. I have seen and experienced so much on the spectrum of the entertainment industry. On the one end, you have social media, and on the other end, you have the larger entertainment industry. And you may be wondering, how did you start from social media and end up on the big screen? I'll explain more. So, first, let me start with my background. So, yes, I am from New York City. Uh, I do have a deaf brother, but the majority of my family is hearing. They do not communicate in ASL, they speak English. And over time, I've grown to appreciate ASL, how beautiful it is. And I've always been able to use it in smaller crowds, but I never really knew how I could tap into larger audiences. And suddenly I became privy to ASL Slam, which is a poetry club that's hosted where I'm from. So I thought, why don't I give it a try? I got up on stage and I was so nervous. My knees were shaking, but the audience yelled in applause and praised me for my poetry, and I felt really confident on stage after that. I felt like these people were my family. But over time, I started to feel that something was missing, that this wasn't enough. So I decided to venture into social media. And around this time, Instagram became a thing. And I decided to come up with ASL NYC as my first username. And I thought, hey, American Sign Language in New York City, simple enough. So I started thinking about, what do I do? What type of content do I post? I see people post pictures and whatnot, but I thought, wait a minute, can I sign stories and post that? And at that time, the limitation was 30 seconds or less. I can't remember. So I tried to sign really fast, and I remember I used to mess up so much, and I would sign too long, or sometimes I'd sign sloppy, so I'd have to redo it. But over time, I got comfortable and I really enjoyed working with that constraint. And then they ended up making it longer, and we could post content that was a minute long. And now it's even longer than that. So you guys are lucky. So with that being said, I really enjoyed doing that. And at this time, I was working for the Apple Store, and I saw that they were hosting a workshop called Final Cut Pro. And I remember thinking, what is that? There was a presenter there with a microphone on their ear, and they didn't have an interpreter at the time. And I remember thinking, that looks cool. They're teaching people how to edit. That's awesome. But I decided to keep going along with my work. And suddenly a friend said, hey, I know that you do poetry. There's a person who's struggling to translate in something into ASL, or something from ASL into English, and I think you'd be a great referral. So I was like, okay, let me go check it out. What I come to find out, they were working on something called Def Jam, which is a documentary. So I met the directors and everyone on set, and they said, we heard a lot about you. Why don't you just go ahead, get started translating? So I thought, okay, cool. And I remember watching a person signing into ASL and just working to translate it into English. And around this time, there was someone close by. There was a woman by the name of Dana, I can't remember her name, but she was editing. And I remember feeling a little bit concerned. I felt that her editing wasn't appealing, and partly because she didn't know ASL, she herself wasn't deaf, and the film was about deaf people. And she kept cropping their hands out of the frame, or out of the part of the frame, and just moving things in a way that wasn't really appealing. And I tried to give her some advice, but I know that she had 6, 7 years of experience editing, give or take, and she seemed resistant to that. And I tried to continuously consult her, and I eventually I thought, why don't I just post my own content on Instagram? I'll post my ASL stories and include editing, and I'll do it in a way that's more appealing, more attractive. And in the beginning, I just used to edit on my phone, and then later I started using iMovie. And then at the same time, I worked, on the Def Jam film. I would peek at what the editors were doing and just glean what I could from that. I remember seeing how they would work tabs, how they would modify timelines. I would just study everything that they would do when they were editing. So I'm self taught in a way. I remember over time thinking, wow, this is really fun. I really enjoy this. I love capturing content. And so from that point on, I decided I really want to take this seriously and invest in myself, invest in equipment for my Instagram. I got a brand new camera, the latest lighting, started posting fresh content, and I thought, definitely ASL NYC is going to be my full-time job. No pay, but my full-time job nonetheless. So I decided to start producing and posting content continuously. At that point, that's when I started thinking about branding. And that's something I want you to understand. I want you to know. You start thinking about, how do you want to represent yourself? How do you want to appear to the masses? And you have to be consistent with your posts. So how do you do that? A lot of the feedback that I got, actually all the feedback I got, was from fans. They would say things like, this is okay, or that's so funny, or I like it. So I started focusing on their comments, and I started modifying my content over time to suit their interests, and it got better. How do I know that it got better? Because I gained followers, more people started sharing my content, I got more comments. It was beautiful, truly. And I remember thinking, this is amazing. I noticed that my confidence was growing. I felt amazed at everything that was happening. And I felt of value as a content creator. I have a story to share, and it was getting shared. And I started becoming more confident, and I started to trust myself. I started to trust the fans ultimately. The fans would say things like, hey, y'all should follow this guy. I know his content. You should follow him. He's really good. Or he talks about such and such topics. Follow him. Just encouraging and recommending people to follow me. From there, job opportunities started to grow. In the beginning, I just wanted to share my ASL stories, my ASL poetry through social media. That's all I wanted to do. I had no plan, no insight for what was going to happen in my future. I just thought, this is what I want to do. But then someone reached out to me for a job. It was Sony. And they reached out to me with John Legend, the singer. And they said something to the effect of, are you interested in participating in part of a short film? And I thought, oh, this must be a scam, because I've never had a job opportunity come up through social media. Instagram was fairly new at this time, so I ignored it. Just continue to do my thing, And then they reached out to me again. I ignored them again, and they reached out to me again, and I thought, wait a second, maybe this is the real deal. So I went ahead and reached out to them, and it was truly Sony, and I was so excited. They were excited. We started exchanging correspondences, and I thought, really? What? Are you serious? Okay, this is actually Sony. And from that point on, I got involved with a music video.